what if everything you've been taught about money is, well, completely wrong? Seriously. What if the usual advice to, like, got good grades, find a secure job, save your money, what if that's actually holding you back?
It's a really provocative idea, isn't it?
It is, and it's right at the heart of Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I mean, this book changed things for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Kiyosaki had these two father figures, right? One became super wealthy. The other, even though he was highly educated, really struggled financially.
And the difference wasn't IQ points or anything like that?
No, it was their mindset, their whole philosophy about money.
And that's what we're digging into today. We want to unpack the core ideas from this book. The mindset shifts, the principles basically give you a shortcut to understanding its impact.
Yeah, a solid overview of why it's resonated so much.
It sold, what, over 40 million copies? That's massive. It clearly struck a chord.
Definitely. So we're going to explore what Kiyosaki says the rich teach their kids about money. Stuff the rest of us often just don't hear. So Kiyosaki's upbringing was pretty unique with these two dads. You had his actual father, his poor dad, smart guy, lots of education, but always worried about money.
Right. Standard path, high achiever in the academic sense.
Then there was Rich Dad. This was his best friend's father. Never finished 8th grade, apparently.
Yeah, quite the contrast.
But he ended up becoming one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii. That difference just fascinated Kiyosaki.
And when you look at their core beliefs, you really see why. Poor Dad's go-to phrase was, "I can't afford it."
Which just shuts down thinking, right? End of story.
Exactly. But Rich Dad would flip it. He'd ask, "How can I afford it?" See the difference? One's a dead end, the other opens up your brain to find solutions.
It forces you to problem solve, doesn't it?
Totally. And their philosophies were poles apart. Poor Dad, the love of money is the root of all evil.
Heard that one before.
Rich Dad. He said, "The endless seek of money is the root of all evil." He saw the stress, the missed opportunities that come from not having enough.
That hits different. And the career advice.
Oh, that's a big one. Where's Dad? Study hard so you can find a good company to work for.
Standard advice. Sounds sensible.
Rich Dad. Study hard so you can find a good company to be UI.
Wow. Okay, that's a fundamental shift. From employee to owner.
That's the crux of it. Most of us are trained to be employees to work for money.
Trade time for dollars.
Right. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki how to make money work for him.
So it wasn't about being smarter in the traditional sense.
Not primarily. It was their relationship with money. Poor Dad saw it as something you earn, then save carefully. Rich Dad saw it as a tool.
A tool for what?
A tool to buy or create assets, things that generate more money, ideally without you having to constantly work for it. Trading time for money has a limit. There are only so many hours in a day.
True.
But making money work for you through assets, that doesn't have the same ceiling. That's how wealth really grows.
Okay, so Kiyosaki says there's this #1 rule, and he claims like 95% of people get it wrong, and it costs them big time.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most famous ideas from the book.
It's understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. Sounds simple enough.
And Rich Dad's definitions are beautifully simple. An asset puts money in your pocket.
Okay, puts money in.
A liability takes money out of your pocket.
Takes money out. Got it. Seems straightforward, but where's the confusion?
Well, think about the biggest purchase most people make. Their home.
Right. My house. Everyone says it's your biggest asset.
And that's exactly what Kiyosaki challenges.
Yeah.
He argues that for most people, their primary residence is actually a liability.
Whoa, okay, how?
Think about the cash flow. You've got mortgage payments going out, property taxes going out, insurance, repairs, upkeep.
Yeah, it definitely costs money every month.
It's constantly taking money out of your pocket. Now, sure, it might go up in value, appreciate, but that's not guaranteed cash flow. That's more like speculation.
So appreciation isn't the defining factor for him.
Not for the basic definition. A true asset, in his view, generates positive cash flow, like a rental property where the rent coming in is more than all the expenses going out. That puts money in your pocket each month. That's an asset.
Oh, okay, I see the distinction. So what else falls into that liability category that people might think is an asset?
Oh, lots of things we buy for lifestyle. That new car with the hefty loan payment, it depreciates and costs you money every month.
Definitely takes money out.
Boats, RVs, maybe even fancy electronics on payment plans. They all drain cash.
Right. So what are the assets the wealthy focus on then?
Things that generate income. Rental properties with positive cash flow, businesses that run without needing their constant presence, stocks that pay dividends, maybe royalties from books or patents, things that work for them.
So here's the kicker then. Every dollar you spend on a liability.
Is a dollar you didn't put into an income-generating asset.
Ouch. That's stark.
And he says the wealthy buy assets first. They build up their income streams. Then they use that income to buy luxuries. The middle class often does it the other way around.
Buy the nice stuff first, often on credit, and then struggle to invest.
Exactly. Think about it this way. Instead of that, say, $50,000 car with an $800 monthly payment.
Yeah.
What if you bought a solid, used $15,000 car and took the $35,000 difference and invested it? Maybe that $800 liability payment could eventually become $800 in monthly income from your assets.
That really reframes the decision, doesn't it? It's about cash flow direction. Okay, let's talk about the rat race. It's a term most of us have heard, and it sounds, well, exhausting.
It is. It's that cycle.
Yeah.
You get a job, you earn money.
Finally, payday.
Right. Then you pay bills, maybe buy some things you want or need, and before you know it, the money's gone. You're waiting for the next paycheck.
Been there.
So you think, I need more money. You work harder, get a raise, maybe a promotion. Great.
More income. Problem solved.
Not usually.
Yeah.
Because what happens? Lifestyle inflation.
Ah, yes. The bigger paycheck means a nicer car, a bigger house, more expensive dinners.
Exactly. Your expenses rise to meet or even exceed your new income. So you're still broke at the end of the month, just
Broke at a higher level.
precisely. You're still running on that hamster wheel, just maybe a slightly fancier wheel. That's the rat race Kiyosaki describes.
So the core issue isn't just how much you earn.
No, it's often the spending patterns and, crucially, what he calls financial intelligence, understanding how money really works. The pattern is work, earn, spend, repeat.
So how do you break that pattern? What's the alternative?
The wealthy pattern, according to Rich Dad, is different. It's increase income, buy more assets, increase passive income.
Ah, assets again. Using income to buy things that generate more income.
Exactly. The goal isn't just a bigger paycheck from your job. It's to build income streams that flow in whether you're actively working or not. Money-making money.
Which leads to his definition of financial freedom, right? It's not about being a millionaire necessarily.
Correct. He defines it pretty clearly. Financial freedom is when your passive income from your assets is equal to or greater than your monthly expenses.
So if your lifestyle costs, say, $4,000 a month,
And your assets, your rentals, your dividend stock, your businesses generate $4,000 or more per month without you having to clock in.
then you're financially independent. You're out of the rat race.
That's the idea. It raises a really important question for you, the listener. What if your basic needs were covered by income that wasn't tied to your job?
That's a powerful thought. It's about building income streams that work around the clock. Hashtag TaxShack4. Why schools don't teach financial education and how to fix it. This always bugs me. Why don't schools teach this stuff? Why aren't there classes on budgeting, investing, taxes, building wealth?
Right. It seems like a massive gap in our education.
Kiyosaki has a take on this, doesn't he?
He does. He argues that, historically, the school system was designed for the industrial age. Its main purpose was to produce good employees.
Factory workers, managers, people who follow instructions and fit into a corporate structure.
Pretty much. Show up on time, do what you're told, work hard for the company. That was the model. But we're not really in the industrial age anymore.
We're in the information age. Things are different.
Very different. And in this age, financial intelligence, knowing how to manage and grow money, is absolutely crucial. Way more than it used to be.
But schools are still largely stuck in that old model, teaching you to work for money.
And not how to make money work for you. Which, Kiyosaki argues, basically fosters financial dependence on jobs and employers.
He uses the term financial illiteracy, right? Even for smart people.
Yeah, and it's not about being dumb. You can be a brilliant doctor or lawyer or engineer, top of your field.
But still not understand a basic financial statement.
Exactly. Or not grasp the real difference between cash flow money coming in and out regularly and capital gains, which is profit from selling something.
Or know about different asset classes or how taxes actually work beyond just paying them.
Right. These highly educated people can still be financially illiterate in this specific sense.
So, if the schools aren't teaching it, what's the solution?
Self-education. It really falls on you. You have to take responsibility for your own financial education.
And teach your kids, presumably.
Absolutely. Teach them what the schools won't. Get them reading financial statements early, understanding assets, talking about investing, learning about taxes legally.
So what specific areas should people focus on learning?
Well, definitely reading financial statements, like an income statement and balance sheet. Understanding cash flow versus capital gains is key. Learning about different asset classes, real estate, stocks, bonds, businesses,
Taxes are huge too.
huge. Understanding how taxes work and how to legally minimize them is critical. And studying successful investors and entrepreneurs, how did they do it?
The wealthy teach their kids this stuff around the dinner table, don't they?
That's the idea. They're raised thinking like owners, like investors, not just employees waiting for a paycheck. Hashtag tax tag 5. The power of corporations and taxes.
Okay, this next part was really eye-opening for me when I first read the book, how the wealthy use corporations and the tax system to their advantage.
Yeah, this is a big differentiator. It's not about illegal tax evasion. It's about understanding and using the tax laws as they're written.
So what's the fundamental difference in strategy?
Think about it like this. Most employees earn money first. Then, the government takes taxes out immediately. Then, you spend whatever is left.
Earn, tax, spend. Sounds familiar.
Right. But business owners, especially those operating through a corporation, can often do it differently. They earn money through the business. Then, the business spends money on legitimate expenses, things needed to run the business.
Like supplies, salaries, maybe even a car if it's used for business.
Exactly. And then, they pay taxes on whatever profit is left over after those expenses.
Earn, spend, tax, the order matters.
It matters hugely. Let's use a car example. An employee earning, say, $100 K pays income tax on that full amount first. Then they buy a $30,000 car with their after-tax money. The business owner, if that $30,000 car is a legitimate business expense, well, the business buys the car before calculating the profit that gets taxed. So effectively, their taxable income might drop from 100K down to 70K. They pay significantly less tax.
Wow, so they get the car and keep more of their earnings because less was taxed.
That's the potential advantage. And it applies to investments too. Often you don't pay taxes on investment gains, like in stocks or real estate, until you actually sell the asset.
So the money can grow faster, compounding tax deferred.
Right. And sometimes, if assets are held long-term or passed down, those capital gains taxes might be minimized or even avoided legally. The wealthy might even borrow against their appreciated assets to get cash without selling and triggering taxes.
These are powerful strategies. So incorporating yourself, forming a business structure, that's key.
It can be a very powerful tool for accessing these kinds of tax advantages, yes. It really highlights that it's not just about how much money you make.
It's about how much you keep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
After taxes. So the lesson is, start thinking like a business owner, even if you have a job. Learn about the tax code. It often incentivizes the very activities that build wealth investing and business ownership.
Kiyosaki has this phrase, mind your own business. This sounds a bit abrupt, but he means something specific, right?
It does. It's not about being nosy or ignoring your boss. It means focus on building your business, which he defines as your asset column.
Okay, so distinguish that from my profession. Like, if I'm an accountant.
Your profession is being an accountant. That's how you likely earn your primary income. But that's not your business in the rich dad sense. Your business is the collection of assets you own that generate income for you.
Ah, so the rental properties, the stock portfolio, the side hustle, that's my business.
That's your business. And the advice here is really practical. He doesn't necessarily say, quit your job tomorrow. No. He says, keep your day job, especially early on. Use the income from your profession to start buying or building assets on the side.
Use your job to fund the creation of your actual business, your asset column.
Precisely. You're minding your profession to earn money, but you're focusing your investment efforts on minding your own business, building that asset column.
And the goal is?
What? The ultimate goal is to build those assets up to the point where the passive income they generate is enough to cover your expenses, maybe even exceed your job income.
That's the escape hatch from the rat race we talked about.
That's true financial security. Job security is fragile. You can lose a job anytime. But assets you own that generate income, they work for you 24/7, whether you have a job or not.
So how do you start? It can feel overwhelming.
Start small. Seriously. Buy a few shares of a dividend-paying stock. Save up for a down payment on a small rental property. Start a small side business in your spare time.
The key is just to begin acquiring things that generate income separate from your paycheck.
Exactly. Remember the core idea. The wealthy focus on owning assets. Most other people primarily have jobs. Making that mental shift towards ownership is crucial. #CAG7. The 5 obstacles to financial success.
Okay, so we've covered the core principles. But Kiyosaki also points out that people face obstacles, mental blocks, that stop them from actually doing this stuff.
Yeah, knowing isn't always doing. He identifies 5 common ones.
What are
Fear. Specifically, the fear of losing money. It paralyzes people. They're so afraid of losing a dollar that they never invest, never take a calculated risk.
But Kiyosaki argues there is a bigger risk, right?
He does. The risk of not investing and having inflation silently eat away at the purchasing power of your savings. Sitting on cash can be risky too.
Okay, fear. What's number 2?
Pessimism. You know, the, oh, that'll never work, or they'll rigged anyway attitude. The constant negativity and doubt that keeps people on the sidelines.
They find reasons not to try.
Exactly. Third is laziness. And he doesn't just mean sitting on the couch. He means being too busy with less important things to actually do the hard work of learning about finance, finding deals, managing assets.
Prioritizing comfort over effort. Sort of, yeah. Avoiding the discomfort of learning and doing something new. Fourth is bad habits. The big one here is paying everyone else first, the landlord, the credit card company, the government, and then investing only if there's something left over.
Which there often isn't.
Right. Rich Dad taught to pay yourself first, meaning allocate money to your asset column first, then figure out how to pay the bills. It forces discipline.
That takes guts. Okay, then the last one.
Arrogance. Thinking you know it all. Once you think you have all the answers about money, you stop learning. And financial education, he stresses, needs to be continuous.
Because the world keeps changing.
Absolutely. Markets change, laws change, opportunities change. Arrogance closes you off to new knowledge.
So fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, arrogance. How do you overcome them?
Well, the simple answer he gives is just to start. Start learning, start small, take that first step, acknowledge the fear but act anyway, challenge the cynicism, make time for financial education, build the habit of paying yourself first, stay humble, and keep learning. Every wealthy person had to start somewhere, right? They all earned their first dollar of passive income at some point.
Exactly. You just have to begin. Hashtag, tag, outro.
So, wrapping this up, if you took one thing away from this deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad, what should it be?
I think the absolute core message is this. Wealth isn't primarily built by working harder for money. It's built by making money work harder for you.
Shifting from being just an earner to being an owner.
Precisely. Focus on acquiring assets, not just liabilities disguised as assets. Understand how money really works, how to leverage it. Build your own business, your asset column.
And learn the rules of the game, especially around taxes, and keep learning throughout your life.
Those are the key takeaways. Prioritize assets, leverage money, build your column, understand taxes legally, and never stop educating yourself financially.
It's a powerful framework. And maybe a final thought to leave everyone with: the difference between the rich and everyone else. It often isn't luck or genius or connections. It's just that they started. They actively began building that asset column while most people were busy buying things that took money out of their pockets.
That really brings it home, which leads to maybe the most important question for you listening right now.
What's that?
What's one real, tangible step, however small, that you can take today to start building your asset column?